to launch a sovereign crypto asset backed by oil. They had also stated that it's going to leverage their gas, gold, and diamond reserves. Their goal is to raise $2 billion. They're going to be offering 100 million Petro at $60 a piece. So to reach their goal, they have to sell 30 million Petro. This is going to be starting February 20th, and it's going to run until March 19th. The distribution of the funds that they receive, 15% is going to go towards improving Petro and its technology. 15% is going to go towards the ecosystem development. And then they also have 15% for the Petro project. So I wonder what the difference between technological development and Petro project would be, because I would think that they'd be the same thing. But then 55% of all of the funding is going to go to the Venezuelan government. So I wonder if they're going to use the money as an additional thing that backs their crypto, if they're going to use their money to just store away, or if they're going to use it to like improve their country. There's a lot that they could do with that money, especially if they're taking more than half. A roadmap. So the initial tests, they had already started. The private sale is going to be happening after the pre-ICO, and they're looking to finish up the tests of the network April 1st, 2018. So this is still something that is in development. You know, they do have a website up. We can check it out in English. The first state-issued crypto asset. So, I mean, it's a valid claim. They're looking to have high standards with the blockchain technology. They're running it on Ethereum, giving you some information of why you could invest into Petro. They do have that white paper, you know, so you could get a lot of detailed information in there. The white paper itself is 22 pages. How to use Petro. Okay, so what do I think about buying Bitcoin to hold it or buy it to fund a broker? It's up to you. You know, it's really up to you if you're looking to trade and hold on to Bitcoin. I personally, you know, I feel like you have to be willing to risk that entire investment that you make into Bitcoin, because I'm looking for it to go lower. I'm very bearish long term on that particular project. If you're looking to leverage that and trade it, you know, through MetaTrader on that kind of a platform, you could absolutely do that, but it has similar risks. You know, if you wanted to buy Petro, again, while it does have risk, I would expect that it wouldn't be something that would drop below its initial value unless the project just went completely, yeah, like unless the project, you know, unless the government abandons this, because they still are very early on in the stage, right? They're testing their blockchain. They're looking to finalize those tests in April and then having their Petro actually listed on exchanges. So for those people that invest now, you know, at $60 per token, that could be substantial for some. For others, you may already have Ethereum ready to go and you can take that risk. You know, in April, you could expect that if this project actually sees it through to getting listed on exchanges, your initial investment should hypothetically appreciate in value because it successfully bridged that gap and it made it onto exchange, which made it more accessible to the general public that perhaps didn't hear about the pre-sale, that are already trading, and then they see this Petro token come into play and it's like, hey, I want to do some research, I want to check it out. They still don't really say how to invest into it, though. That's kind of the only thing that I'm not seeing here on their website, how to invest in the ICO. There's no button that I can click. There's just download white paper. So maybe the white paper tells us, let's take a look at that really quick. background blockchain, the opportunity, distribution, the initial offer. So 4.2 and 7.2, those are the areas that we should be looking at. So where would that be? The opportunity. So they compare their oil barrels. They're number one at the time of this. Price fluctuation. So they're looking at 3 major cryptocurrencies, giving you some statistics. Pre-sale will start February 20th and will consist of the creation and sale of an ERC20 token on the blockchain Ethereum platform. So I would imagine as long as you own Ethereum, you're going to be able to invest in this pre-sale. The initial offer will be made later until 82,400,000 units available for sale are exhausted. So this comes after the pre-sale. So in the pre-sale, they're looking to sell 30 million. Pre-sale goal of 30 million on the Ethereum network. The token will not be a part. Okay, wait. The token will not be a part of the Petro network until it is redeemed or burned during the initial offer process. This token may be exchanged for Petro at any time during the launch date and the closing of the initial offer. So the pre-sale is happening now. The pre-sale is going until March 19th. And then I would imagine at that time is when the initial offer is going to come into play. So I don't fully understand how that works. They're doing it in 2 stages. The pre-sale, you're investing, and you have to redeem what you invested in the pre-sale once the initial offer happens, and they're only going to make 82,400,000 available. So what happens with all of the extra money that they may raise? Because if they do successfully sell, 30 million at $60 a piece, that's $1.8 billion.
I mean, technically, they're supposed to hold. They have X amount, right? They sell them to investors. Technically, they have X amount. They sell them to investors, and they hold, say, what was it, 15%, 30%, or whatever for. So they release those over time to pretty much fund everything else.
So essentially, if you don't redeem it during the initial offer, you have to continue holding what you bought until more are released.
I mean, it looks like they're doing proof of stake, right? So I don't know if they're gonna with XLM, they're going, IBM's the mainly proof of stakeholders. So I'm wondering what nodes they're gonna go offer here. I'd be interested in nodes for the country. That'd be cool. But no, like essentially, they should sell X amount. Like they have different rounds. You know what I mean? Like you have the first round, say it's $60 is the price, right? That caps out. Then they'll have their second round, which will be valued at maybe double. So now it's gonna be like 120. So if you would have got on the first round, it's cheaper than the second round. So this pre-sale, if this pre-sale should max out like that, right? And then you have the initial offer, which is the second one, like this could be dropped on the exchange or something. And these are the initial holders.
This is the $60 a piece.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what we see in the pre-sale for 38.4% of the supply, that would be 38 million of the Petro being issued during pre-sale. And with the 38 million, I guess 400,000 that would be coming into existence during that pre-sale, this is what we are going to see priced at 60 US dollars a piece. The initial offer, the next 44% of the supply, so another 44 million, are going to be offered at a later time. So this could be after that April 1st time where we see Petro, potentially listed on exchanges. That's when the next round is going to come into play. So, the timeline on this, like it's pretty short. The This right here, the remaining 17.6%, it's going to be retained by the superintendent of currency. So the Venezuelan government is going to be holding on to 17,600,000 Petro. And if we're going to just, even look at that number and say, hypothetically, okay, so at $60 a piece, that's $1 billion. So they're holding $1 billion worth of the Petro after everything has been said and done. And then the value of this can increase, it could decrease, but they're still giving that value. They decided to set the price at $60 because of the value of oil, gas, gold, diamond, and whatever it is that they have in reserve. So this white paper is pretty thorough. It's very professional. I wanna see if I can understand this a little bit more. So the Petro project is funds for technological development and promotional efforts to comply with their roadmap. Ecosystem development is for the promotion of applications within their environment, so processed from their superintendent of currency and selected by Petro holders by voting through the blockchain. So the more Petro that you have, the more substantial your voting power could be.
That's how usually proof of stake works. Like the more nodes you have, every node is a vote.
So in a sense, by investing in Petro or for investing into another project that's going to be launching from these governments, you own a piece of their government. You become somebody that has power even if you're not in that country. So, if Venezuela makes this available to everybody, they're open-minded to let any individual around the world have some sort of an influence on what happens with their economy, with this cryptocurrency. If we see another country come forward in the future, we could see it in a way where during the pre-sale, something like Russia, for example, maybe during the pre-sale they make it limited to their country so that it distributes the power accordingly, and then they make the remainder of the sale available to everybody. So there's still a little bit of diversity, but countries still get their say on like who they want to offer that power to, especially if we're going to be seeing that the holders as a consistent thing on the proof of stake. With that in mind, like that's really cool. The technological development for investments in technology, infrastructure, special areas, and projects that contribute to the economic advancement, with special emphasis on applications of blockchain to improve productivity and transparency in companies and state agencies, and the rest going to the Republic for the support given the use of Petro. Take a look at this really quickly, the remainder of the terms. So during the initial offer, they're starting that March 20th. They're allowing that to go on for as long as it takes until the remainder of the Petro that they're selling are gone, and they're using the reference price of $60. So now there's no guarantee that this $60 is still going to be $60 once it actually hits the exchange. It could go up, it could go down. It's going to be interesting to see, considering it is backed by commodities, just how much influence gold and silver, but not even silver, but just gold and really primarily oil, because it's oil that they're leveraging in their statistics. It's oil that they're comparing, the barrels that they own compared to the other countries out there, and this is really interesting. I'm really happy that we found this and just it was everything that we were talking about just a couple of days ago with how you could potentially own bits and pieces of the government. You could have that power, you could be that person, and we're seeing it happen now. So it doesn't seem like there are any other questions for today. We definitely appreciate your time and very grateful for you to be able to share this experience with us. We're all learning together each and every single day. So, with that being said, we will see you Tuesday, February 20th, 11 Central. And of course, as always, have a fantastic day. You have the ability within you now to be a consistently profitable trader. And yes, it is President's Day.